Hello, I'm Mrs. Kite, and I am your child's 7th grade science teacher. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to getting to know your child throughout the year, but I just want to give you a little bit of information about my class. So the first thing you need to know is there are materials and supplies required. Obviously, computer, that's our go-to tool these days. Make sure that your child's computer is charged up every day, ready to go, and that they have access to their charger in the middle of the day should their computer die. They do need writing utensils, pens, pencils, and so on. Highlighters are great. And I am requiring a 100-page spiral notebook, preferably college ruled. I would like students to have the notebook because there are going to be some times during distance learning where I'm going to have them get off of their screen and work in their notebook, and then they will be taking photographs of what they've done in the notebook to upload to the computer. So notebook is required. I do need a ruler with metric measurements, and that is not an unusual thing. So it's nothing that you have to special order or anything. So I put a picture here on the screen. You can see there's metric and inches on here. So a metric ruler is great. And then finally, colored pencils, please. I would like for them to do some coloring in their spiral. Okay, so those are the supplies. Important resources that you need to know about. Oops, sorry about that. First of all, my website. So my website is housed on the Olympus Junior High School home site. And in order to access any of the teachers' sites, you're going to go to the staff directory. And you will find all of the teachers once it loads. So here I am, Leela Kite, and you're going to go ahead and visit my site. So far, it's pretty minimal on here, just a little bit of background about me. But an important piece of this are the calendars, and your students have been directed already. I did this, I think, on the very first day of school to go ahead and add my calendar to their calendar. So as soon as you click on this, and you're totally welcome to do this as well, you can click on the 7th grade science calendar and it will ask you, do you want to add this to your own Google Calendar? And if you say yes, then all of my events will pop up on your calendar and you never have to go here again. So the 7th grade science calendar is simply a place for homework. So I put homework, what's due the next day or whenever it's due, on the science calendar. All right, another resource that you will, of course, be looking at quite often is Google Classroom. So my Google Classroom, I'll just go ahead and click on one of my periods. This is for period 1. The Google Classroom view from the student side looks a little bit different from the teacher side, but important things that they will probably get used to looking at is this left-hand side of what's coming up. So these are all things that are pending in terms of due dates. But the other thing that I'm trying to train the students to do is go directly to classwork. Classwork is a more organized view of what's going on. I personally make use of topics. So science skills is a topic, beginning of school is a topic, and I assign things to topics. So as we go along and there's more and more things in Google Classroom, kids will get used to just going to classwork, looking for the specific topic and looking for the assignment. And it also over here tells due dates. So that's really important as well. If it's something that's just a material, it just tells the date that it was posted. So if there's no due or due date or due tomorrow or anything like that, it's just an informational piece. Okay, we do have a textbook. And this year it is 100% online. We actually just adopted it. So we adopted it in June, and it is called TCI Bring Science Alive, and it is an integrated program. I'll talk about what that means in a minute. We tried it out last year in the spring and it was great. We really, really liked it a whole lot. So the reason why we adopted a new textbook is because we have a brand new set of standards. Actually, they're not brand new, a few years old. And so this textbook aligns with the new standards. They're called the Next Generation Science Standards. So we've really enjoyed using this textbook in the spring, and we're happy to have it back. So your child is not going to get a hard copy, so they will not get this physical book. It will be completely online. We are still working on getting it set up for our students. Our techs in our district are very overworked right now. So as soon as we get access to the textbook online, I'm of course going to do a whole bunch of training for the students. And I will also create another video for parents so that you can help your student in the online book. Just so you know what's coming up in science this year, again, it's an integrated approach. So every unit has a little bit of earth science, a little bit of physical science, and a little bit of life science. So it's all together, and there's an overarching story that kind of goes along with why these things are all connected together. So the storylines are these four major, they call them segments in the text. So the segment 1 is about organisms and non-living things are made of atoms. So clearly the focus here, or the main topic here, is chemistry, but we also talk about ecosystems and how energy moves through ecosystems on the atomic level. Matter cycles and energy flows. This one has a little bit more earth science in here. The distribution of Earth's resources over here, and then finally sustaining living systems in a changing world. So ecosystems is hit pretty hard. We've got plate tectonics. We have things like Earth's processes, like volcanoes and earthquakes, lots of chemistry. So super fun year. It's gonna be a really great journey for your student, especially because they get to come to science every day. I'm gonna do my very, very best through distance learning to get them to do some hands-on activities. I will be videoing myself doing some activities, and then they can watch those videos. So we're gonna do our very best to get them doing science. Of course, these first few weeks are all very, very intro things and just trying to get procedures and policies down. So we will get there. We'll get to science soon. Grading. So this year, especially in distance learning, I put participation here. This is kind of a big one. We don't normally grade participation, but we are with distance learning for sure, because I want to make sure that my kids are, you know, not just on screen, but actually engaging in class. So there will be a variety of ways to show that they are participating. Even just turning in work to me is a participation. Okay, so the other two categories are skills and then concept knowledge. An example of skills would be like, can you graph? Can you interpret a data table? Can you measure something? Can you follow directions? So those would all be skills. Concept knowledge is, can you prove that you've learned the topic? We will have tests. There are tests actually integrated within the online textbook, so I will be assigning tests for them, and quizzes and so on. So definitely those will be part of the curriculum. If you ever need any help, oh, let me move my picture here. Please email me. So we all have the same format on our email, and it ends at the @eurekausd.org. And this is an L, so my first name is Leela. So lkite@eurekausd.org. So anytime, please email me. I will try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. An interesting thing that I've noticed with the students is they've already done a really great job of emailing me when they have questions. But I do need to do a little training on how to create an email or send an email. So maybe you can work with your student on that. I've noticed that some students put their whole question in the subject bar. So we'll make sure that students are trained up on how to send an email. I also really appreciate proper spelling and grammar. So when they say, I am having trouble, and they put a lowercase I, let's try to train them to write correctly and properly. So I'll be working with that, with them on that. So any questions, any problems, any concerns, definitely go ahead and send me an email. And it was really great speaking with you. Thanks for being here.